about the heredity. That is, the heredity is controlled by a unit called factors. But there are number of questions which still remain unanswered. What were the questions? That is, where are they found? What they look like? What is their appearance? What they are made up of? Made up of and how they control characters and what causes variation. We will be answering these questions in this chapter. There are 5 questions. Where are factors found? What they look like? What are they made up of? How they control a character and how they cause variation. Variation also, that is mutation. We know that the mutation is caused by factor. So now why mutation? If they are meant for a character, that is, then why this thing? So we were looking for a suitable candidate. And I said where they found, this question was already answered in 1902 by Sutton and Bowlby. Sutton and Bowlby said that since there is a great similarities between the chromosomes and the factors, there is definitely some relationship between the factors and chromosomes. Earlier they said that factors are nothing but the chromosomes, but later on they modified their next statement and they said that factors are located on chromosomes. So there are only few number of chromosomes, but large number of factors can arrange on these chromosomes, as there are only few trains, but each train may accommodate some 300 to 400, 700 passengers. Similarly, each chromosome can carry some 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 or even 5,000 factors. So this is how the paired state will be there. When the chromosomes are found in pair, the factors will also be found in pair. When chromosomes segregate, factors will also segregate. When factor restore the paired state, chromosomes will also restore the paired state. So that problem was solved. Now the next question is what is their appearance, and the third question is what are they chemically made up of. One thing was quite obvious, that the number of factors are so many. Even a bacteria, a microscopic organism also have some about 4,000 factors. So human being like organism which is thousands and thousands times bigger than the bacteria and complex than the bacteria, definitely thousands and thousands times more factors should be there. If we consider somewhere about 30,000 to 80,000 factors in human being, then one more thing is clear, that each factor should be made up of a separate chemical. Okay. Like in a class, suppose 10 children are there, 30 children are there, all 30 children should have separate name. If all of them are having same name, then you cannot control a child. Suppose all the children, 30 children in a class, and they all have same name, Krish. And you say, Krish, come here, stand here. M.A. Khan, I don't know who is M.A. Khan. Okay, all 30 children will come and stand here. If I ask Krish, give me a pencil, all 30 will come. So if we have to control a particular person, I must have a separate name for him and I must individually control him. So similarly, if in our body 30,000 to 80,000 factors are there, each factor should be controlled by a special molecule. Now we require such a large number of molecules. So now we are looking which can be the best candidate for factor. Our body has got only two types of molecules. They are protein, carbohydrate, fat, vitamin, mineral, water, nucleic acid. The kind of molecules which are found in the living beings are proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamin, minerals, even hormones, and nucleic acid. Now if you look for the 40 to 80,000 molecules, carbohydrates do not provide that much of variation. Such a great number of carbohydrates are not there, because the number of carbohydrates are defined by the number of carbon molecules, which are varying only from 3 to 7. And even if we take their isomers and all, then also they will not provide such a great number. Fats are very much limited. Vitamin are only few. So this cannot stand for that. Minerals do not have specificity. So they are also not a good way of fact. Hormones are also limited. So all these are out. They all are out. The real candidates we have got proteins and nucleic acid. Proteins are made up of 20 kinds of amino acids which can combine in many different ways and can produce infinite possibilities. Nucleic acid has got 4 types of nitrogen bases and they should also provide some possibilities. But where 20 and where 4? So every one was eyeing on the protein. They said whatever it is, the genetic material should be protein and only protein. There was no other option anyone even thought of. Now there was a scientist, or rather there was a doctor named as Frederick Griffith. In 1938, Frederick Griffith, a British scientist, Griffith, F-I-T-H, British by origin, he was working in a hospital and he was looking or studying about the behavior of Diplococcus pneumoniae, P-N-E-U-M-O-N-A-I. Diplococcus pneumoniae. Diplococcus pneumoniae is a bacteria which causes pneumonia, as the name indicates, pneumonia. There are 2 strains of this, S strain and R strain. And when he studied by injecting these strains in the rats, he found that only S strain causes pneumonia. This cannot cause pneumonia. And his experiment was very interesting. Let us study what his experiment was. He took some S strain bacteria, Diplococcus pneumoniae, and injected into rats. This is a rat. Injected, and what he found that the rat died. When the S strain is given to rat, the rat suffers from pneumonia and dies. When R strain was given to some other rat, rat was happy, no problem. You gave me any such injection, no problem. So the rat was still surviving, no problem, alive. So hence he came to know that it is the S strain which causes disease, not the R strain. Now In the third of his experiment, what he did, the S10 bacteria he boiled, okay? And it is obviously right from the beginning we knew that on boiling or on heating the organism dies. So on boiling, what he found that the S10 were not able to cause disease. I'll write it, heat killed it. Heat killed S10 when injected into the rat. And he found that the rat did not die. Obviously, why will rat die? Because the bacteria were already dead and they could not cause disease. So the rat did not die. Now, whether purposely or whether unknowingly, the next step of experiment, what he did, he mixed the heat-killed rough stain, smooth stain with rough stain and injected into rat. Anybody will say, sir, this cannot cause disease. Oh, sorry. It should align. This cannot cause disease. These are also can't cause disease. So obviously the rat should remain alive. But what he observed, that the rat dies. Now the question is, why did rat die? Whereas here the bacteria were dead and here the rough stain bacteria cannot cause disease and heat killed smooth stain bacteria are already dead. Then why the rat died by suffering from pneumonia? He thought they must not be properly boiled. So again repeated the experiment by boiling them. Next time again he found the same result. Third time he thought there may be some reason, so let me give it with utmost care, and again he found that the same type of result. Now what he did, he took the blood sample out from these bacteria, these rats, and he found live S-strain. Now the question is, where did live S-strain came from? Whereas he already killed the S-strain bacteria by boiling it. This time he must have boiled it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. He must have boiled it at 100 degrees Celsius, whereas the bacteria dies only at 70 degrees Celsius, most of them. Yet he could not find a rat alive. The rat always used to die, and rat always used to suffer from pneumonia. And their blood sample always used to contain live S variety. After repeating experiment number of times, he could not get a conclusion, he could not get an answer for this. So what he did, he said, एक लाइन में आंसर लिख दिया. He wrote the answer like this. The result of the experiment. What? When mixing S heat killed S-strain Diplodocus pneumoniae with live R-strain, the R-strain bacteria transformed into S-strain. After repeating experiment 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, any number of times, he did not get any result differing from this. So obviously what other option he had? He had to write it down that what he found. So he's finding, he wrote and he said that when I mix heat-gained S-stain diplocopene pneumoniae with live stain, the live R stain जो है, the live R stain bacteria, they modify, they transfer, they change into live stain. Whoever read, they laughed at you. It is something like that. You got black sheep and you got white sheep, and if you keep the white sheep with dead black sheep, the white sheep changes to black sheep. Is there any truth in this? Nobody believed, and his experiment remained unnoticed. Now the study we also got to know that the S-stain has got a capsule. The bacteria has a capsule around it. This is a bacteria, say for example, then it has a capsule, and the rough stain does not have that capsule. The bacteria is there, but it does not have capsule around it. So the difference is lying in this capsule. If the capsule is developed, it will change into smooth. If the capsule is not there, it will remain rough. The experiment remained without any proper result, and it was kept in the research laboratory. Some years later, three scientists came. The three scientists' names were Avery, MacLeod and McCarthy. Avery, MacLeod and McCarthy. You can see their name here. Oswald Avery, this is on the page number 101. Biochemical characterization of transforming principle. And you can read there what it states. Prior to the work of Oswald Avery, Colin MacLeod and Maclean McCarthy. They conducted their experiment in 1944. Let us see. First of all, they also must have laughed. बोले ऐसा भी कभी होता है कि डेड के साथ जिंदे को रख दो तो डेड के करेक्टर जिंदे में आ जाएंगे, जिंदे में ही नहीं आते, मरने के बाद कैसे? So they never believed. Yet they said, let us see what happened. Now, whenever you have to do some research, you are looking for a topic to do research. And the best way is to go to the library or go to the research center and find out some of the failed research. So they must have got failed because of the lack of observation. They must have got failed because of the incomplete information. They must have got failed because of the failure of the experiment, like some wrong procedure they must have done, or some incomplete procedure they must have. So they said, okay, let us do it in a precise manner. And they started doing the experiment. Who? These three scientists: Oswald Avery, Colin MacLeod and Maclean McCarthy. These three scientists, they started doing this experiment. And to their surprise, any number of times they repeated the experiment, the result always used to be same. That means there was nothing wrong in the experiment. That means the transformation is a fact. That means the live R variety in presence of the dead S variety transform into live S variety. Now they wanted to know why it happened or how it happened. So what they did, the experiment can be understood by two different ways. Like you take smooth strain bacteria and you separate the nucleic acid and proteins, because our whole attention is the nucleic acid and protein. So what they did, separated all the proteins from the S chain. They separated the DNA and they separated RNA, and they have taken them in test tube. A, B, C. In this they have taken all protein, in this they have taken all DNA, in this they have taken all RNA from the S chain. And they added some amount of R chain bacteria. And then they injected this into the rat to see what molecule can cause disease. When R-stain bacteria like R-stain bacteria are kept. So they found the rat did not die. Rat did not die when they were there. Yeah, the rat died. And the rat did not die. That is, rat died only when they were kept with the DNA isolated from the S-stain bacteria and they were mixed with the R-stain live bacteria and they were injected. Or rather what we can do is स्ट्रेन एस्ट्रेन को क्या दोबारा Your question is, sir, एस्ट्रेन को किया था ना? नो, एस्ट्रेन बैक्टीरिया से डीएनए निकाला, आरएनए प्रोटीन निकाला, आरएनए निकाला और डीएनए निकाला और दे एडेड द लाइव स्टेन बैक्टीरिया इन इट and then these bacteria were injected. Rather, you can say these solutions were injected. And they wanted to know what happened. So they found that here the rat doesn't die, it remains alive. Here the rat dies, and here the rats remain alive. So that means only the DNA causes the transformation. Transformation was happening. There was no doubt. Transformation में तो कोई झूठ है ही नहीं. Transformation तो हो ही रहा है. That is accepted by both. That is by the Frederick Griffith as well as by Avery McCarty and McClure. Question is that what causes transformation? So they came out with a clue. This experiment can also be done in another way. What you do is these three, that is the live R stain plus S stain. These bacteria were taken mixture and they were added like two samples were taken. In the sample 1 they added protease enzyme and in sample 2 they add DNase enzyme and then they were injected into the rat. And they found when the protease enzyme is added, the rat died. And when DNA enzyme is added, rat remains alive. The reason is when protease is added, it digests only the proteins. And when the proteins are digested of this S-stain, proteins of S-stain are digested, but the DNA is not digested, and hence they are able to cause disease. And when DNA is added, they dissolve or they killed or they broke all the DNA of both the bacteria, and the rats remain alive. So that means it is not the protein, but it was the DNA which is responsible. Rather, this experiment, like we can put like this also, mix to it. First you take the S-stage bacteria, add protease in one sample, add DNA in another sample, and then add R-stage live bacteria and keep for some time and then inject. So we came to know it is not the protein, rather it is the DNA which causes transformation. Hence we got one clue. The genetic material should be made up of DNA. That's all for today. Thank you.